Alrighty, let's get this all organized. Testing. Fantastic. Alright, hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Race Spec Global Series. I'm Bodhod and I'll be commentating for you today. Another last minute call up, but we're here and we're ready to go. We've made it for the start of quality this week, which is great, so we'll get to see these guys put some decent laps in. Yeah, this is Global Tier 2, so we should expect some pretty good things from these guys. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do during this qualifying session, which is mightily important for this track, new to the calendar of course. Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Those who've done some laps around here before, whether in open lobbies or perhaps not the league race, will know how challenging and grueling and difficult, but also rewarding and enjoyable track this is. So it will be a fairly new experience racing around here, doing a full league race for a lot of these guys, but I mean, it's a superb racetrack which is quite punishing if you get it wrong. So and it's also, yeah, quite narrow and fast, plenty of corners, so it'll be difficult to overtake, which makes this qualifying even more important. So I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. I am definitely going to be keeping a close eye on as many people as I can. Just the 14 drivers tonight. I think it's close to a full list. I don't think this tier is quite filled out yet. Obviously, Race Spec stretching the number of leagues out. So we'll expect a few empty seats, at least initially, but it's good to see the 14 drivers here tonight, ready to tackle the challenge of Zandvoort. We'll drive on board with Gold Gloves. He's not the first one on track, but we'll stay on board anyway. Drive some good pace here in that Alfa Romeo. Hello guys for tuning in. Make sure you get a few predictions in if you'd like. Let us know what you would like to see on stream in terms of information. And yeah, show your support for these guys. I know they'll really appreciate it. Hello Banana there in the comments section. Good to have you along, and I'll be looking forward to doing your race a bit later. Global Tier 1 of course being straight after this. But we'll keep our attention on Tier 2 for now, as Gold Gloves is coming through probably some of the more tricky corners on the track, as the first time in is the 110.4 from BMAC in the, I think that's the McLaren. Gold Gloves coming down it's kind of a back straight, but it's not really a straight, it's a bit of a bendy straight. But yeah, DRS probably not really an overtaking spot as Gold Gloves loses the back end, and that's, yeah, kind of killed his lap there. Really difficult traction zone there actually. I think it kind of flies a bit under the radar due to other areas of the track having a lot of attention on. He'll finish this lap, but he'll probably line up for another one if he's got the energy to do it. But yeah, a couple of those traction zones, particularly if you're not using any traction control, can be quite challenging. It looks like Gold Gloves is really struggling with the rears at the moment, trying to put the power down as soon as possible to maximise that lap count. F'd Banana again. Poor performance there. Looks like Gold Gloves will go again. We'll jump a ball with someone else, maybe Hold Up Mandan, who's done a purple first sector, quite a long first sector here. I think it's the longest sector of the lap. Plenty of corners, plenty of places to make mistakes. And the second sector is one of the shortest sectors on the calendar, I think, as well. A couple of times flying in now. 109.8 from Rashid Matata is currently the top of the 5 guys who have set times. We know Gold Gloves made that mistake as well, so kind of 4 strong times to start off with, and then Gold Gloves there. But Holderman then will come through the bank corner and come to the pit, so he will not finish his lap. Jump aboard with Road Flash in the Red Bull, coming through the fast sweeping section of the end of Sector 1. A lot of that's flat. You have to be quite brave to maintain the speed through those corners, because yeah, one little mistake and that could be your session done. There's really no runoff anywhere around this track. It's all kind of grass and gravel, and the curbs bite as well. You can see how tall they are, even just riding on board with these guys. So you really have to respect the track limits. But yeah, you still have to kind of find that line to go fast, because as mentioned before, qualifying is so important around here, being it's so difficult to overtake. You can really hold up faster drivers behind you if you put the car in the right spot, as Rogue Flash will come across the line in P2 with a 109.9. So Red Bull 2-3 at the moment, looking okay, but half the grid still hasn't set laps yet, so we'll have to keep an eye on a few blokes. Lunacy and the Mercedes coming through the final section now. Slightly misses the penultimate corner, which is quite important to get the run into the straight actually, because down into turn 1 is probably going to be the main overtaking point in the race. Lunacy will come across and go quickest with the 109.599. So quickest by about 3 tenths at the moment, which is a good effort from Lunacy. Probably a top 3 driver in this tier. He should be aiming for podiums most weeks. Got plenty of pace, which is what we want to see. One thing worth mentioning as well, Joggles, who was clearly the quickest driver last week at Bahrain, he's sitting in P4 with 110.2 on those mediums, so that's really impressive from Joggles. We'll see him probably throw on some softs and try and push for that pole time. So Camus is just starting a lap in the Ferrari, had a bit of an up and down race last week as well, I remember. Caught up in a few incidents, a few little mistakes as well. But yeah, coming through the first few corners, you want to try and keep it flat. You probably have to lift off to that right-hander there slightly. Difficult braking zone, you can take that corner a few ways, but it can be quite difficult to straighten the car up, because you'd want a good exit out of there for all this straight flat bit. A couple of cars off on the side there, just getting out of the way. Another thing about this track, it's just so narrow, so traffic could become a thing, particularly at the end of quali when they're all lining up. So Camus has just missed that corner. He hasn't lost his lap for invalidation yet, which is good. But yeah, that's a lot of time down the drain there, so he'll be hoping to tidy that up on his next run, or as he takes that inside curb. Yeah, you can't really do that at all. That curb is absolutely deadly, possibly a bit too deadly for what it should be, but Camus has found out the hard way, and he probably will not touch that for the rest of the session. So that's a shame for the Ferrari driver. I think we were on board with Hold Up Man Down before. We'll jump on board with Candy Cane in the Racing Point, who's just doing an out lap, trying to warm up those tyres. Looks like he's just about to start a lap. Short lap, you should be able to get 3 runs, maybe even 4 runs if you're quick. But you do want to save some tyres for the race as well. We'll just jump on forward with Candy Cane. Actually, we'll go off board, sorry, for a little bit, and just see a couple of these pictures of the track. Grandstands full, which we hope will become a thing in Formula 1 in the near future in real life. All as Candy Cane has, yeah, he's clipped the wall there. A bit too much curb there. You probably can't take that curb as much as he did. You either have to take all of that and go straight over the top of it, or take none of it, because otherwise that curb will just throw you as it did there. So that's unfortunate. Sorry, I keep clicking off. That's unfortunate for Candy Cane. Looks like he's not going to continue that lap, so he'll probably come around and set another one. Won't want to burn off too many sets of tyres. We'll jump on board with Wit J, who looks like he's on a lap. We've got a few yellows around the place. Looks like drivers just getting out of the way, but Ferrari just up ahead. V Camos won't want to get in his teammate's way. Probably another little braking zone down here, one of the most tricky braking zones, particularly if you don't run ABS. Very easy to lock up. So Camos is just going to go off the track to get out of his way, so that's good there from the Ferrari duo. And then Candy Cane ahead, making that mistake before. We'll also get out of the way. Which would come through the final few corners. That's where we saw, I think it was Gold Gloves, lose the back end a bit, try and hit that apex. Bit of a tricky curve there, you can't take too much of it, and he's run wide. That's one other thing worth mentioning about this track. There's not too many places you're going to cut, but that is definitely one of them. We'll probably see most of the warnings this race come from that penultimate corner, just running wide there. That curve's so inviting, and you want to take as much of it as you can to gain the speed onto the straight, but obviously you can't take too much, otherwise yeah, your lap will become invalid, as the Haas driver of Ollie East, I call him Ollie, I think. It's like the easiest way to do it. We'll come through the final few corners, come through the penultimate corner. That's actually a pretty nice line there. Probably could take a little bit more speed into it to get more out, but that's okay. Nice and tidy. Is he going to finish his lap? He will. Aims it to the right-hand side for a short line, and he'll jump to P5 with a 110.2. So good effort there from Ollie in the Haas, the sole Haas for 2 nights. Let's see who else on the lap. Looks like there's a bit of trouble in the middle sector there. A few cars kind of trying to get out of each other's way. That area there before this section, those fast chicane bits, very easy to lose the car, so you might see a couple of guys getting accidentally held up, but hopefully not. Yeah, looks like people just trying to sort themselves out. We're still on board with Joggles, who looks like he's on a lap. Probably expected to get pole after that great performance last week, just running away with the race in the end. So have to see what kind of time he can put in. He is purple to the middle sector, 4 tenths up in his best time, which was on mediums. You'd almost expect a little bit more pace relative, but maybe he just did a blistering medium lap, so not too much to worry about. Takes plenty of speed through there, which is great. Floors it up to the line, DRS open, energy just runs out at the perfect time. You'll go quickest with the 109.4, so that's a very, very, very solid lap actually. That's really quick, so great lap there from the AlphaTauri driver of Joggles. Puts himself a 10th ahead of Lunacy in P2, who is a 10th ahead of Ashuna Matata. Another 10th, yeah, ahead of Rogue Flash, and a little bit of a gap to Gold Gloves in P5. And then it gets fairly close to the next 2 positions after that as we run down the order. Everyone's set a lap yet. Obviously, V Camelos made that mistake on his lap. And Hold Up Mandan has not set a lap also. Christoph Rex retired. I've missed that somewhere. Not sure what's happened there. I don't remember when that happened. That's my mistake for missing that. But that is the end of qualifying for Christoph Rex. We're going to see if he can hold that P8 or if guys below will jump him. I don't recall seeing that off the bottom. That might have just been my mistake. But yeah, it's my bottom that one. Anyway, Hold Up Mandan is purple to the middle sector, takes plenty of that curve, runs out plenty of speed, which is good. Through the banking, DRS, flick it open, ERS just runs out, and it will be P6 for the Renault. So that's a great lap there, getting himself into that top 10. Track will get quicker and quicker as the session goes, so he'll be hoping to improve. He'll get one more run in, come to the pits, put some fresh tyres on and go again. So he's still in hot lap mode actually, so I wonder if he's going for another lap. No, it looks like he's backing off now. So got, who's that? I think it's a Ferrari. It's going off in the middle sector. I'm not sure if that is just slowing down. He was there for a while. Just trying to get out of people's way. We'll jump on board. Who haven't we jumped on board with yet? We haven't seen a McLaren yet. We've got BMAC, who also had some good pace last week, but yeah, kind of just fell back through the order after that safety car last week. Yeah, after showing some great pace. So he'll be hoping for a bit of a comeback, a bit of a bounce back result, hopefully getting near that podium. He's got the pace too, we know that. So we'll see what he can do as he comes through the final sector. It will be a 109.9, so rates into those 9s, which is good enough for P5, so that is a decent lap there from BMAC. Also should probably have enough time to come into the pits and do another run. So yeah, decent run there from the McLaren driver. Looks like his teammates in the pits, so we can't watch that yet with Jay and the Ferraris. I think he's the only one on the lap at the moment, other than Ollie, but which is ahead, so we will stay on board. Come through the fast right. Bit of a difficult corner actually, trying to get the line. You want to try and keep it as flat as possible, but you don't want to run out wide because that's your whole lap gone. Keep it nice and tight with the right hander. This bit's all about mid-corner speed, just trying to maintain speed. You don't want to hit the brakes too hard and then accelerate too hard again. You want to keep that mid-corner speed. As it looks like we've got a McLaren just getting out of the way there. I'm not sure if he made a mistake or not. Which is 5 tenths up in his time, so he's pushing toward those 9s as well, which will get him in the top 6. If he can hold it through here, then I think he'll be pretty happy with that lap. So as he comes across the line, it'll be P6, so 109.9 just behind BMAX. That's a good lap there from the Ferrari man. Pushes Charlesley down to P11, Christoph Reck teetering right on that top 10 there. Didn't even touch it. I'm not too sure what that's in reference to, mate. If you, yeah, I missed that, so if you want to clarify what happened there, then feel free to. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to you, mate, but it's unfortunate to see you out of the session for now. Of course, qualifying being so important here. Who's on a lap? Looks like Lunacy and Joggles might be on a lap. Who's ahead? Jumping aboard Joggles, looks like he's just ahead of Lunacy. potential pole time for either of these guys, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. Joggles is just up by half a tenth, so he'll be having to carry a bit more momentum through and try and improve on that time. 1:04 is definitely a great time so far, but I think he's got a bit more in him. As he's coming up to the second sector split, he's a tenth up now, so it's been a good first two sectors. We want to finish off the sector 3 though and don't lose that time, as he gets a little bit slippery on the exit there, so that might be a little bit of time lost, but he's still pushing through the final couple of corners. Keep it nice and tight to the right hand side. He'll come across the line. It'll be, we won't improve by 0.01 as Lunacy goes quickest by, what's that, 18 thousandths. So that's a great lap there from Lunacy to jump himself above Joggles, who made a mistake in sector 3 and lost that tenth that he would have otherwise gained. So Lunacy's making the most of that and putting a banger lap for P1 for now. Joggles might have time to do another lap, but his tyres will not be optimal, so we'll have to see if he can find that 10th back again, because a 10th will get him back into P1. Wonder if Lunacy will bother setting a lap. He might not. He might want that extra freshness in the tyres at the start of the race. Rogue Flash, I think he might have just finished a lap as well. Who have we got on a lap? We can give some airtime to Sesto. I don't think we've seen a Williams on stream yet. So I'm not sure if he's just finished or if he's just starting a lap. He's obviously not on one now. Who was on a lap? So Camos is on a lap coming through the last couple of corners. We'll have to hit that apex nicely, which he does. A non-representative lap so far, so this is kind of a bit of all or nothing for him. Claws it across the line, 1:12, so that's still good enough for 14th place. He'll have one more ping at it, but he will start to run out of ERS. This track quite hard actually to recover the ERS, because you're on the throttle for a lot of it and not many hard braking zones, so that's something also to keep in mind for the race. Those who can save their ERS up will be in a good position to defend their positions and possibly attack. But that looks like that'll be it for Camos, unless he can really improve. Ollie's on a lap as well. Lynx is retired in the pits. He's obviously not going to get time to do another run. Purple to the second sector actually for Ollie, only 2 tenths up in his time, so I don't think it's going to be the quickest lap, but it will boost him up a couple of positions if he can hang on to this 2 tenths. Bit of traffic on the right hand side there, gets out of the way well enough. Takes that apex quite nicely, floors it up to the DRS point and across the line. It will be P7 for Ollie, so that's a good lap there into those 9s, 1:09, 9:19, lots of 9s and 1s. Who was that just jumped up? I think it was Gold Gloves for P3, so that's a good lap from the AlphaTauri driver. Who's that coming across the line? I think it's BMAC, yes it is. He will do a, what was it, 1:09.9, so he's just marginally improved. Stays P7 though, as I think Camos will be the last person. He won't finish his lap, so that'll do us for qualifying. 14 guys all getting laps in. Lunacy, the quickest of the lot, with Joggles close behind. Can we get to leader? There we go. 0.016 is all that separates P1 and 2. 0.64, 0.93. So the top 4 are all separated by less than a tenth, which is going to create some incredible racing. Hopefully these guys can put on a real show at a track that may be quite difficult to do some passing on. We'll see what these guys can do about that. P5 and 6, Ashuna Matata and Candy Cane, also close together, 2.5 to 3 tenths back from Lunacy, and then BMAC and Ollie and Whitjay all 4 tenths back. A little bit of a gap then to Holderman down 7 tenths back. Christoph Breck, who retired from the session early, and then Sesto, Shalzi, just over a second behind Pole, and then Camos 2.5. So Camos, a bit of a difficult quality there. We'll have to see if he can bounce back for the race, but it will be the Mercedes of Lunacy on pole. The Saw Mercedes for tonight. As you just wait for the timer to run out and these guys to retire. Just waiting on, I think it's Joggles. The game doesn't really automatically register you retiring in the pits at the end of the session. A lot of the time it doesn't do that for you, so it's a bit annoying. We have to wait an extra minute, kill some time, but it's what it is, and looks like he's just done it now, so we do not have to wait that extra minute. I've just run through that grid, so we don't need to do it again. the Japanese / Australian hybrid of Lunacy taking pole position. So well done there for the Mercedes. Everyone qualifying on softs as well. Haven't really talked too much about the strategy. We'll do that on the formation lap. Actually, we can start doing it now. A soft to hard is probably the best strategy. A soft to medium is probably not quite possible. You're probably going to be 3 or 4 laps short, and you're in puncture territory on both stints if you do that. So soft to medium, unless you get some safety cars, is probably not viable. For the guys in P11 or 14, you could do a medium hard and really push the tyres, or maybe you could start on hards and stretch it out and do some softs at the end. Chances of safety car around here could be quite high though, because of the difficulty of the circuit and the unfamiliarity of league racing around here for lots of these drivers. So a few options there, but we should see most of the top 10 probably doing that soft to hard. We'll have to see if anyone gets too adventurous with the strategy. It looks like it's dry for the race as well, so weather shouldn't play a part, although it is possible to change quite quickly on this game, so we can't totally write off a little bit of rain yet, but it looks like it will at least be a dry start as we just wait for these guys to select their strategies. If anyone in the comments, anyone watching the stream wants to get some predictions in, then let me know. Same deal as always, I'll buy you a Fredo if you're right. So there's some incentive for you. Yeah, I'll give you till the end of the formation lap to get some predictions in if you'd like. As we just wait for these 14 guys to load in. P1 Lunacy from Banana. After a pole position, that looks like every possibility of being successful. Being, yeah, such a difficult place to overtake, but we saw Joggles had some good pace last week, so I'm sure Joggles will give Lunacy a run for his money. And then also Gold Gloves and Rogue Flash were less than a tenth behind too, so we've really got a 4-way fight, at least. The guys behind not even that far away, so it's going to be a really cracking race, I think. The start's going to be really important though. Whoever leads into kind of turn 2, turn 3 can set the pace of the race. So the start is going to be really important. Jack the Man, good to have you in the stream here. P1 Joggles, once again another valid pick, absolutely killed last race in Bahrain. So 2 worthy candidates for favourites to the win. We'll chuck on some data, see what tyres people are on. The entire grid will start on the soft tyres, so no one's being adventurous for the strategy. Looks fairly straightforward. We should see a lot of these guys do soft to hard. I wonder if some of the guys down the bottom will try and stretch the softs out a little bit. We'll have to wait and see, but it will be softs for the entire field. We'll chuck on the position change for the start of the race as well. Jack the Man will continue his prediction, P2 Lunacy, P3 Shinna Matata. So predicting the Alfa Romeo of Shinna Matata to jump a couple of positions, only a couple of tenths down on pole and quali as well anyway, so another driver with some good pace. He's going to have to get past Rogue Flash and his teammate to make that happen. We'll have to see what he can do. Candy Cane BMAC also maybe in contention for podiums, showing some good pace of qualifying as well. But yeah, how fantastic is it to see so many guys on this grid so close together in qualifying? It's what we want to see. Yeah, global tier, a lot of these guys won't really regularly race each other. So it's good to see them kind of doing it closely together. As you've got a couple of guys disqualified from the session. That is just from the formation lap, so don't need to worry about that too much. The game will give you that notification now when they do hit each other, as the cars will absolutely realistically drive straight through them. We'll jump on board with Camos to see when he comes up to his spot. So yeah, start very important. We'll see how these guys get off the line. West P12, there we go. Thought we were missing the driver for a sec. That would have been a bit of a worry, but we are all here and we are all ready to go, as the lights will hopefully jump on. Hopefully get a good camera angle. There we go, that looks good enough. 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and away we go. Fairly quick start there, as the leaderboard's gone all whack, so we'll just stay on board with Lunacy at the front. He's held his position into turn 1. Looks like someone's gone I can't really tell where the positions are, so we're just going to have to do it as we see it. We've already got a safety car. Wow, so it's been one corner and we have a safety car. Has anyone crashed? I don't know if anyone's crashed. Has that Renault got front wing damage? That Renault's got a little bit of front wing damage. But no one is stopped on the track map, so we've got a safety car after about 10 seconds for... I'd like to say nothing, but it's got to be for something. As the leaderboard's still a bit whack, so we'll not worry about that too much. It looks like it's starting to sort itself now. That should be correct now. So Whitjay looks like he's the one that's gone and lost a few positions, starting in the top 8. So maybe he's gone around a little bit. But yeah, nothing really major popped up there. But we do have a safety car, which is going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works for strategy. Do these guys stay out, or will they come in, possibly do medium, or maybe jump on the hards and hope to do the whole race? I think it's a bit too early for that though, so we should probably see these guys stay out. But yeah, barely got underway and we're already stopped again, so very, very interesting there. Lunacy will not pit, he's going to bait a couple of people. Looks like they're all playing a few games there. No one will pit so far. Apologies if you hear some background noise, it's just started absolutely bucketing outside with rain, so hopefully that goes away soon. I'll try and yell a little bit more. I've just noticed I'm not really getting game sound either. Hopefully that's okay. Yeah, sorry about the background noise if there's a little bit. We get the predicted pit stop strategy now, lap too late kind of. Also according to that leaderboard we're already on lap 3, but that is not correct, we're on lap 2. But yeah, really, really weird. As we can now look at the positions gained and lost. So Candy Cane's jumped a couple. No, we can't, the thing's all mucking around again. Yeah, this is fantastic. It makes it kind of hard to tell you what's going on, but it looks like Candy Cane and Shuna Matata have swapped positions. Likewise with Ollie and B-Mac, so B-Mac getting, yeah, not a fantastic start there. Christoph Rex jumped a couple. V-Counts has gone from 14th to 10th, so that's a good start there. The biggest gainers, they're all kind of piling up in the middle sector here. Charles's game position is Hotter Man Dan. I think Whitjay was the one who lost out the most, and I think he's coming to the pits actually with the tyres up. Yeah, so the top bottom 3 have put on tyres, mediums, and hards. But I think Whitjay may have been the cause of the safety car. But I'm really not sure. That's probably one of the weirdest safety cars I've ever seen. Yeah. Anyway, it's what it is, and we've now got an interesting race in our hands. So that Hotter Man Dan and Whitjay, they will have to stop again. So they are on... yeah, they're on kind of the same strategy as all the leaders, as we've got a bit of overtake in the middle there. That should sort itself out. Oh no, it's Christoph Reck is coming in the pits. I don't think it's actually the worst idea to be pitting, because you can do mediums to the end fairly comfortably, and they'll be quicker than the hards at the end of the race, so you might lose out a little bit for the first few laps while the softs are kind of still okay, but after that, yeah, for the second stint, mediums versus hards, they could be in for a real challenge. Yeah, real bonus there, as Sesto did come in on hards, so Sesto will try and stretch it to the end probably, maybe throw some soft salt in the end, but I think Hold Up Man Dan and Whitjay have actually done a decent thing for strategy there. Yeah, definitely not a bad shout, because everyone up the front will have to pit for the hards in probably 10 laps time or so. Stream's good, that's good. Yeah, maybe that's just my ear's not quite working properly. Anyway, if it's all good, then it's all good. Fantastic. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on Hold Up Man Dan and Whitjay on those mediums. Hopefully they'll be able to hang on to Charlesy in P10, who is the back of the soft train. St. Christoph Reck pit for new softs as well, so he'll be nice and quick at the start. He'll probably have to, or he might be able to stretch to soft mediums, but I'm not too sure. As the safety car is in this lap, so we'll have to jump to the front of the pack. Lunacy will get this one underway. We'll put the gaps up, the intervals up there. Lunacy obviously up the fastest lap so far. We only got one corner, so let's see if these guys can make it a bit further than one corner. and get this race actually started, as looks like he's gone already, foot down, so he's made the jump and he's gotten Joggles actually caught napping a tiny bit, so Joggles will not be close enough to make a move. Gold Gloves neither. So no one's really in a position to make a move except for, I think that's Camos and BMAC. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll jump up here, Shooter Matata getting by Candy Cane, so those guys kind of getting back to their starting positions, and then Ollie right at the back as well. Always he loses it and he's put it in the wall, so Ollie, yeah, getting a bit greedy on that right hander there. Of course the cars will be really full on fuel and the tyres will be cold, having not done any racing laps really yet. So Ollie's got damage and he's probably going to have to pit. I think Sesto went around at the back. Yeah, I think he might have lost it on the banking, so he's had to make another pit stop and get a front wing change to the mediums. Which Jay's jumped to position as well on those, no he hasn't, sorry, Christoph Rex the one that jumped to their position on those fresh softs, so he'll be wanting to get past people as soon as possible. Looks like he's got plenty of pace. As Charles runs a bit wide, and we're going to go 3 wide on the exit of the corner. Oh, and that's caused disaster. With Jay's in the wall, Christoph Rex may have damage as well. Yeah, you don't usually go 3 wide through there, and those guys, yeah, probably just not quite aware that they had so many cars next to each other. So with Jay's come off worse there, that's major damage. He's going to have to pit once again. He's probably going to run out of mediums to do another medium to medium, so he may have to slap on the hards. But up the front is Lunacy from Joggles, from Gold Gloves, from Road Clash, and then Ashima Tata making that move off the restart as well. So I think those top 6 are, as they were at the start of the race, as we just try and get this thing right. Yeah, top 8 in fact are where they started, but Ollie's of course got that front wing damage. Looks like he's staying out for now. He'll grit it out. Camos and Shalzy making enough positions to get into that top 10, with plenty of guys already having to make some pit stops. So it's been quite an interesting start to the race. But yeah, the top 10 all on those full lap old softs from qualifying in the race as well. Hold Up Man Dan is now the only guy on the alternate strategy, kind of in sync with these guys, with Christopher and with Jay and Sesto all having to make extra pit stops. So we'll have to keep an eye on Hold Up Man Dan and see if he can hang on to the back, but it looks like he's already dropped the second. Yeah, he has. He's already 1.1 behind. Looks like Shalzy is looking to make a move on V Camos. Can't quite get it done though. This straight's too small. They also won't have DRS quite yet, so yeah, he's not going to get that done yet. Looks like there's a bit of a gap forming in the middle there. I think it's Candy Cane. Yeah, so Candy Cane's starting to lose touch to a Shooter Matata. 2.5 seconds already. Runs wide there, that will probably be a warning. We'll jump on board with BMAC as up the front Joggles, that's the quickest lap of the race so far, so trying to hunt down the Mercedes of Lunacy. BMAC will dive to the inside, try and go late on the brakes. He'll get slightly cut off, but not quite from Candy Cane. Leave the door open still, but he cannot get it done. Candy Cane getting great drive out of that first corner and will hang on for now. Ollie's has just dropped touch from BMAC, goes a little bit wide there again. Obviously with that wing damage he'll be understeering all of the shot, particularly through this next sequence of corners, so B Camos will be wanting to make the most of that. Hold Up Man Dan's actually caught up to these guys because of that little scuffling half a lap ago, so if Hold Up Man Dan can get DRS and just stay there, then he's in a really good position. He can put on some mediums and then get some fresh air as the soft guys start to pit the hards, as Shalzy goes really wide and then really deep that corner. Yeah, just catching the car and throwing it in a straight line. So that's not great for the McLaren driver, but he's hanging on for now, which is good to see. We'll jump on board up the front with Joggles, who's not quite close enough to Lunacy, so Lunacy's showing some really good pace. Gold Gloves right on that second, so we'll actually jump on board with Gold Gloves, see if he gets DRS. Actually no, it's not this lap, it's the next lap, so really important for Gold Gloves to put in a good lap actually, so he doesn't lose touch to those top 2. Those top 2 were really quick last week. But yeah, Lunacy getting caught up with the safety car and struggling with tyre wear, as a lot of those quick guys were. I think that was last week's race. I may be incorrect, as we've got yellows in sector 2. V Camos has gone round sector 1, sorry, so it looks like he's made contact at turn 1. Has he got wing damage? I'm not sure why I skipped to the other person there. He does not, or at least not visually. I think yellow wing damage sometimes doesn't show up, so that's not great for the Ferrari driver, dropping down to P11 now. He still made positions from the start, but he's now, yeah, fallen right behind, as Hold Up Man Dan looks like he's lagged out, so that's a real shame from P9. So Hold Up Man Dan was actually running pretty well till that, so hopefully he can get back in the session and resume this race. We'll jump on board with Joggles though, who's starting to close up to Lunacy. Lunacy's starting to feel the heat of the AlphaTauri behind. They've gapped Gold Gloves by a little bit, so it's a two-way fight for now. And then P3 and 4 are also in a little fight of their own with Ashuna Matata starting to drop off. We've got more fighting in the middle, but we'll stay on board with Joggles, who will try and get the run, but I don't think he's close enough. No, he's not going to make the move yet. He will come nice and close on the braking, but won't be able to make that move. Rogue Flash, close enough, or a bit close to Gold Gloves, but also not close enough. It looks like below these guys, everyone's kind of 2 seconds or 1 second from each other, so the field's starting to spread a little bit as they're just trying to get some flow. Of course, yeah, the car's being nice and heavy, and yeah, the first lap being on the safety car, this is kind of the first chance to settle into the race. So we'll see these guys start to get used to the track and then hopefully start to push it, and hopefully some of those gaps will close up as well. We'll jump off board coming through this flowing Sector 2, fantastic flow to this circuit. If you've done some laps in time trial, you'd know. Yeah, kind of a great old-fashioned circuit. Probably a bit of a better hot lap circuit than a racetrack, in all honesty, but we'll see what these guys can do. Hopefully they can stay with each other. Dirty air is going to be bad to deal with, so we'll have to see if these drivers will be able to stick with the guys in front of them, as it looks like Joggles will jump on board with Joggles as well. Again, probably not quite close enough. He's a bit closer than last time, but he's not putting it into overtakes. Who knows, this is not the lap. Rogue Flash is putting it into overtaking. Gold Gloves is going defensive, moves outside and inside, so we can't move again. He'll go a little bit deep into the corner, but he will get it stopped in time and hang on to that P3. So Rogue Flash getting nice and close, but not close enough to make a move. Gold Gloves taking lots of that curb. We saw a couple of guys before do that and kind of oversteer into the wall there. So Gold Gloves has got to be careful going through there, as I saw the gap to Joggles and Lunacy went down to 2/10 and now it's back up again. So these guys strong in different areas of the track. So Lunacy's got it nice and tight there. Joggles, you can see the understeer even on board here, just drifting. As Lunacy's actually made a bit of a mistake there, missing that apex. That might allow Joggles a look into the DRS zone, but he's going to have to get a really good exit out of here, which he has, but I don't think he'll be close enough. So we'll stay on board here as these two start to really fight it out. Yeah, we'll have to see if anything will happen into turn 1. As I just sort out a couple of things. There we go. All sorted now. Joggles right in the back of Lunacy is a lot closer this time. This could be the lap. He knows that he's in overtake mode. Lunacy is not in overtake, so he might just let him go past. Joggles down the inside. We'll get the moves stuck. Lunacy will go for a bit of a crisscross, but looks like Joggles just has the drive, and will get that position stuck. So Lunacy now is going to have to deal with Dirty F the first time this race, so he's going to have to try and stick close enough, but yeah, just be careful with that understeer going through the corners. So that Gold Glove and Rogue Flash also staying in formation, not quite managing to get by each other. We'll jump on board Gold Gloves through this fast end of first sector, start of second sector, take a bit of that apex, don't run too wide. Oh, looks like someone's knocked out the 150 metre board, so that's going to be a real pain for the drivers who, like all the drivers, especially those who don't use racing line though, because that is an important marker, but oh well. That's something they'll have to deal with. Gold Gloves and Rogue Flash not quite close enough to make a move. Rogue Flash actually fallen a bit further behind, so it looks like he's had a bit of a slower lap, unless Gold Gloves has just done a quicker lap. Ashuna Matata's actually caught up a little bit more. That gap was towards the 2 seconds, but he's clawed that back to 1 second. So Ashuna Matata's starting to find a bit of flow. We'll see if he can get himself involved in this battle up the front, as Gold Glove's going really defensive already. He's almost in the pit lane actually. Rogue Flash will kind of dive down the inside, but not close enough to really make a strong move. They'll stay in formation for now. Yeah, won't get the run out of here. So Gold Glove's doing well enough, putting the car in the right spot at the front. Lunacy is sticking within 6/10 of Joggles, so he's not letting them get away. We'll have to see what time they hit, because the softs will start to go off. We'll probably see them in for hard, in the next 2, 3, 4 laps. We'll have to see if Lunacy will attempt an undercut, which could be really, really valuable if he manages to get himself instant clear air. But of course, if you hit in the traffic, then you're going to struggle. So we'll see what the gap to leader is. So if Lunacy pits now, he'll come around the P8, P9 mark, possibly P10. So a little bit of traffic there as Hold Up Man Dan's joined the session again, which is good to see. Lost a couple of positions because of that, which is a real shame. Hello again guys in chat, thanks for tuning in. Got a bit of support for a few drivers, Christoph Rek, Got a fan in the chat as well, which is good to see. Currently in P11 on medium tyres after having to pit after the safety car. Road Flash will come into the pits actually, so the first of the top four to, put some fresh tyres on. Pit crew rush out very, very quickly. Looks like it will be the hard tyres. Yeah, so Road Flash should be set for the end. He'll be able to take those tyres right to the end. He will drop to, we'll have to keep an eye on it. This could be important for the guys ahead who want to pit. He'll drop to P8, so about a couple of seconds behind Shalzy. I'm not sure where our gaps have gone. Just a little bit of a glitch, but that's okay. Hopefully that comes back soon. So we'll have to see if he can undercut Gold Gloves, who will be starting to struggle a little bit on those old softs. We'll stay on board a little bit for Gold Gloves, see whether he's still hitting his apexes, see if he's still got a bit of grip in those tyres. Keep it nice and tidy, run a bit of that curb but not too much. That curb can really bounce the car. Looks like he's keeping it nice and tidy up the front. Looks like Joggers is stretched. I think it's just over a second visually there. So have to see what Lunacy and Joggers both do. They're both going to come into the pits, so copying each other. Joggers will pit first with Lunacy right behind. Don't speed, boys. Good. Gold Gloves will stay out for another lap, as will his teammate Shinomatada. So hopefully those guys don't start to run into each other in terms of pit stops. Hopefully they do pit the same lap. There's actually nothing to get to. Candy Cane will pick up a 5-second penalty for speeding, so that's not going to help his efforts to improve positions. Shalzy and Road Flash starting to get nice and close. Shalzy on old softs and Road Flash on fresh hards, so those softs will be nice and hot now. Road Flash is starting to get held up here, so not great there, but Shalzy doing a good job of keeping his car there. You can see him starting to struggle out of the corners, so Road Flash getting more traction out of turn 3. We'll see if he can stick his nose in somewhere. Looks like it won't quite be now. Shalzy runs very wide, but not too wide, which is good. We'll see where these guys came out. Joggles is 8.5 seconds behind Gold Glove, so the pit time actually is really short. Leading 9 seconds. He was would have been about 5 seconds ahead of Gold Glove before, so the pit delta only being about 15 seconds, so that's something worth knowing as well. Probably one of the shortest pit lanes in the calendar. Then as Shalzy and Rogue go side by side, Shalzy goes deep. Not really an easy place to overtake. It looks like Rogue's going to get it done around the outside. He's done it, so that's pretty good. Yeah, not very comfortable for drivers to go side by side through there with the high curbs, but they've made it stick as Gold Gloves is in. Ashim Matata stays out, and looks like Shalzy will come in as well. So Ashim Matata will be the last person to come in for the softs. He'll have the best tyre life at the end of the race. Joggles starting to close him in, and Lunacy right behind as well. About a second. Gold Gloves gets a 3-second penalty for track limits, which is not going to help his efforts to gain positions at the end of the race. Road Flash right behind, so it looks like the undercut hasn't quite worked. These guys will be in another battle for the stint. See Road Flash struggling a little bit with dirty air, but yeah, running wide a fair bit. Gold Glove's doing well enough to keep his car in the right spot. He's got yellows in sector 1, that looks like a McLaren. It's not BMAC, it's Shalzy. Yeah, Shalzy is gone around, so he must have taken a bit too much of that curb at turn 2, which is a real shame. I'm not sure if he's had contact with someone. What's his damage like? Yeah, he's got some right front wing damage, so that's a shame for the McLaren. He's gonna have to pit. He's just come out of pits actually, so he might have spun it up on the pit exit. So that's really unfortunate. He's got fresh hards on, so I'm not sure if he'll be able to pit for more hards. I'm not sure what the game gives you in terms of tyre sets, but that's a real shame for the McLaren driver who was probably looking at the top 10. As Ashima Tard, the last person to pit, will pit now. He'll come out just behind Road Flash. How far behind? It's not letting me change cameras. There we go. Not too far behind, so he's actually closed a little bit of time to these guys. I think the gap was about 1.5 seconds before the pit stops, so those tyres still looking okay towards the end of the race. Not the end of the race, sorry, the end of the stint. So Shooting the tyres done quite well, and he'll be on the freshest hard tyres for the rest of the race. So we'll have to watch out for Ashuna Matala towards the end of the race. He'll have some nice grip. As I think this gap just ahead is the closest battle on track, as Shalzy behind gets another time penalty for his troubles. He's just coming to pit lane, so I wonder what that penalty is for. But anyway, Road Flash and Ashuna Matala chasing down Gold Gloves. It's the closest battle on track, so we'll stay on board with them the rest of the field kind of separated by over a second and a half, over 2 seconds. So yeah, really starting to separate. So we'll stay on board with these three. We'll jump on board with the Ashuna Matata, who'll have the best view of the guys ahead. I don't think any of them will really have enough pace to overtake. Actually, it looks like Rogue Flash has got a really good run out of the final corner. Golgolf goes to the inside. He'll stay inside. Rogue Flash will try to go around the outside. Still got that overtake on, so he's going to have to watch the traction on the exit. Runs a bit wide. Jump off board. Really difficult to go side by side. Yeah, Rogue Flash has to give up slightly. Yeah, we've seen lots of incidents going through there with guys kind of chopping each other off because there's one real line through that corner. But they've kept it nice and clean, which is good. Gold Gloves survives another lap, but Rogue Flash looks really, really racy at the moment. He's, yeah, you can see him starting to fall back towards the Ashuna Matata, so Alfa Romeo doing enough to get both cars in the fight here, but Rogue Flash should be really wanting to get past because he's obviously got a lot of pace, probably a little bit more than Gold Gloves at this stage of the race. Ashuna Matata also got some good pace, so we'll have to keep an eye on Rogue Flash. He'll be starting to get a bit desperate to get that move done before he really comes under pressure from Ashuna Matata. Nice and close there, get the power down. Ashuna Matata close in pursuit as well. Gold Gloves, a little bit of dust on entry there, but that's not too bad. Try and get the power down. Gold Gloves will go inside probably again, right up to the wall, so really, really strong defense there. Both of them actually tapped the ball, so hopefully they don't have damage because that could be really, yeah, painful for their races. Gold Gloves will go in deep. Rogue Flash, can he hold it around the outside? A little bit of contact there, but Rogue Flash will get through. Gold Gloves having to concede the position, slots in behind, Ashuna Matata right behind as well, so good move there from Rogue Flash. Have to see if he can pull away now. Ashuna Matata just gets a little bit greedy on the throttle and loses the backhand slightly, but nothing too bad there. Yeah, he'll have to stick behind with it. Gold Gloves is struggling a little bit for grip, so we might see a few team orders at Alfa Romeo if Gold Gloves thinks that Ashuna Matata is quicker. But that's, yeah, it's not real F1, so they don't have to yield to each other at all. We'll have to see what they decide to do, but important for Rogue Flash to get ahead of the pair of them. We'll stay on board with Gold Gloves, see if he can stay within the DRS of the main straight. Gets nice and close in the braking, brakes a lot later than Rogue Flash. Actually then runs deep into the next corner as he loses the back end again slightly. So Gold Gloves we've seen a few times in quali and the race, getting nice and greedy on the power as you have to be, as Charles used that quick slap the race on mediums. Just coming again, not quite beating his race yet. Looks like Rogue Flash has got the good run out of the final corner. Ashuna Matata will actually try and make a move on his teammate here. Sends it down the inside. Gold Gloves will give him the space, but he won't yield the position. He'll hold it around the outside. So good defense there from Gold Gloves, getting the traction around the outside. Ashuna Matata not able to stick his nose in enough to make the position. He'll not quite have the run out of here to make a move into the next few corners, which is very, very difficult to anyway, so we wouldn't really expect that. But looks like Rogue Flash is right on the 1 second bubble to Gold Gloves. If he can get a couple of really good corners here, he should be able to break the DRS. And then resume his race, try and catch Lunacy and Joggles, who are starting to shoot away a little bit. Gap 6.2 seconds ahead. Joggles is starting to stretch the legs a bit as well, the gap from Lunacy. Stretch from 1.2 to 2.2, so it's not a massive margin, not a massive difference of pace there, but Jules is starting to pull away slightly. Gold Glove did get DRS there, so it looks like he will be able to hang on for at least another lap, which is good for him. Jules will set the quickest lap of the race, get up to 2.4, so it looks like Lunacy might have made a little bit of a mistake out of the final corner perhaps. Yeah, to warrant that, Joggles is going to have a bit of traffic in front. Charlesy will get out of the way, hopefully. Ashuna Matata will not quite get the move done on Gold Gloves either. So these guys really, trying to push their cars, but not being able to get close enough to make the move. We'll go through the order a little bit, give these guys some airtime, because there's not too much happening. We'll keep an eye on those gaps there, though. Joggles in P1. After winning last week's race, looking like he can do it again. Starting to stretch out to Lunacy. The gaps were really slowly kind of stretching, but now it's starting a little bit more. Lunacy starting to struggle perhaps a little bit to keep up, so we'll have to see what he can do. Rogue Flash, of course, leading this little trio which we've been riding on board with recently. BMAC just behind, about 6 seconds, so not close enough to be in the fight, but yeah, it's kind of there and thereabouts, but not quite in the fight. hold up man down. We got yellows. Who's that? That looks like Candy Cane's gone off at the auto spin curb. He's going to come on the track. Lucky Ghosting's on, who would have collected Ollie as well. So I think Candy Cane was running in P8 before that little spin there. So he's got dropped a couple of positions in a bit of time. It looks like that's Christoph Rex missed the corner there, and he's happy to give up the place to Ollie. Looks like he's just broken himself slightly. So these guys starting to get a bit jumbled up. Trying to get some pace. Candy Cane will get a really good run on Christoph Rex around the final corner, probably make a move inside. Oh, he's hit Christoph Rex, who I think was trying to get in the pit lane. And he's sped as a result of that, so he might be able to get that move post-race, but he's retired from the session in the pit lane. I'm not sure why you do that actually, with only being 14 guys in the session. You'd still probably be on for points, but that's going to be ultra frustrating with Candy Cane there. Obviously not quite reading each other. Christoph Reck, I think, was wanting to come to the pits. Candy Cane trying to go through a gap that didn't exist, so yeah, Stuart's might have to deal a bit with that one, but that is frustrating for both parties. I wonder if Candy Cane's got some damage actually, not visually, but possibly a tiny bit. And then Christoph Rex obviously retired a bit. Candy Cane, he's run very, very wide. Can he catch it? He's caught it just. That's a really good save there. We saw him kick up some dust at the third corner before, and then on that second corner before as well, but he's managed to keep it on the black stuff, which is important. So a bit hairy there from the racing point. Someone else worth watching is Hold Up Man Dan, who's done 17 laps in the softs. So, we'll keep an eye on this. Looks like the Alfa Romeo's starting to really fight hard as Shun Matata made the move into turn 1. Can Golgos fight back? Not quite. So, bit of movement there at Alfa Romeo, trying to gain some dominance. Looks like Rogue Flash hasn't been able to pull away actually. So, Shun Matata could be licking his lips for a podium here. We'll have to check the penalties towards the end of the race, but at least on track, Shun Matata looks like he's got some really good pace in these hards. Gold Gloves has the worst of the three of these guys, looks like. Had fantastic pace in those softs, but looks like he doesn't quite have the confidence on the hard tyres. He's lost 2 positions, but still in a solid P5. He'll be happy if he can keep that top 5, but he would have been hoping for a bit more after being P3 before the stops. But if he can hang on to the back of this little train as they start to fight, then he could pick up some more positions. You never know. But Shun Matata will just stay on board as he closes back up on Rogue Flash. Rogue Flash getting a really good run out of that final corner there actually, not the first time, so he'll get that move. Yeah, he won't be able to get that move done this lap. Gold Gloves not close enough as well. We'll resume our run down the order. We've got 2 Ferraris of Witz G and the Camos in 10th and 11th. Not quite close to anyone really, with J about 2.5 seconds behind Candy Cane, who made that little mistake last lap. VCAM's in a bit of no man's land, qualified in 14th, so probably not the most confident around this track. He's got the hards on as well. He's trying to find a bit of flow. If you get a retirement ahead of him, then it is points, so not all is lost for Camos, but you can see him just starting to struggle a little bit on those curbs. Obviously got some fairly old hard tyres, 10 laps. Sesto behind on 16 lap on mediums as well, so he might come into the pits in a couple laps time, put some softs on. I think he went around just after the safety car restart, so he'll be hoping for something to happen for him to get into some points. And then Charlesy behind is just been lapped by Lunacy. We've got yellows, that looks like a Ferrari of Camos, so I think he's done that. I think he's trying to do that before as well, take a bit too much of that curb or possibly just lose the rear. And he's got more damage to that right hand side, so he'll make another pit stop. So frustrating day again for the Ferrari driver of Camos, not quite having the pace. Looks like he's running wide, he's taking that racing board as well, which is fantastic. But yeah, you can see that understeer with the ring damage, that's probably red. Yeah, I think that would be red wing damage, so he's going to limp it back to the pits and probably put on maybe softs, but probably mediums, and try and go to the end of the race and try and pick up something. Chelsea's only 12 seconds but closing, so maybe we'll see a bit of a fight for P12 coming towards the end of the race, as I think that's just Lunacy ahead. Yeah, it is Lunacy, who's dropped back a little bit further, about 2.8, 2.9 seconds from Joggles, so it's not massive pace difference, but it's just consistently dropping. It looks like Joggles has got Lunacy covered 4 now, but one mistake and everything can change. We've got some more yellows. I think that was Camos who maybe make a mistake there as he's trying to get out of the way. Goes into the pits. We'll have to jump aboard with these 3 again actually, because they're nice and close. Shun Matata on Road Flash. This might be a lap we see a move made. We just left the session, so that's probably a lag out, which is annoying. Yeah, hopefully he can get back in, as Mataro is not close enough to make a move. Yet again, Gold Gloves also a bit further back. Still in that DRS, which is good for him, but not close enough to really threaten these two. Yeah, look at that Road Flash. He's getting really good exits out of the penultimate corner, which is probably the most important, but it looks like around the rest of the lap, Mataro's kind of got him covered. He's got a bit more pace through this middle sector, these fast bits, so they're both running in the dirt, just trying to find the line through there. Hold Up Man Dan's coming to the pits, so he lasted about 20 laps on those on those medium tyres, which is good, so he's going to be really, really quick, and if we see a safety car, then Hold Up Man Dan could be one to watch. He'd be 5 seconds further up the road if he didn't lag out, I think, as well, so it's a bit of a what could have been almost a Hold Up Man Dan, but he's still got time to gain some positions back, still in points after that pit stop, but got plenty of pace on those fresh softs with the quickest car on track. Probably will get that fastest lap off. I think it's Joggers who's currently got it. It is 1:12.5. So he should be able to get that. We'll jump on board with Matata again. Turn 1 not close enough. So Road Flash, yeah, I've said it a few times, but getting really great runs out of the penultimate corner, which is really saving him, because Matata just has nowhere else to get past on the lap. Yeah, you can't really get a run alongside your opponents through these corners. They're just so fast, and the track's so narrow. So Matata is going to have to probably just save up a lot of the ERS and just send it for a couple laps if he wants to get that move done, because Road Flash is good enough down out of the corner where it matters. So yeah, credit to Road Flash and the Red Bull. Obviously not quite got the pace to catch the top two, but holding off these two Alfa Romeos really, really nicely for an extended period of time. So props to Road Flash to see if he can hang on to the podium, because so far he's deserved it. Although in saying that, Matara's had plenty of pace in his cars, so he would also deserve the podium. He's in overtake, so he's sending it now. Road Flash, I don't think he's in overtake. Oh, he is, but he's out of overtake. So Matara sets the fastest third sector, and he's going to dive it down the inside. He's going to go really, really deep and kind of push Road Flash off, but that move is done. So well done there for the Alfa Romeo, finally getting his man. Road Flash dropping to P4. We'll have to see whether he can stick on the back of the Alfa. It looks like Gold Gloves has just dropped about a second. It's going to be really close to DRS there. So Road Flash and Matata having really good pace, might be able to drag Road Flash away from his teammates. So it'll be interesting to see what the play is there. If they're working together, Matata might try and back Road Flash into his teammate. We'll have to see. Hold Up and Dan does set the fastest lap of the race. Looks like Whitjay in the Ferrari. I think that's his AI. I don't think he's back yet. We'll also put on some softs. So when Whitjay does come back, if he does, he will be licking his lips on some nice fresh soft tyres, but he's not in the session for now. Gold Gloves is right on the bubble of DRS here, but I don't think he's just going to miss it actually. 1.1 seconds, yeah, so Road Flash will not have to worry about behind for now. Again, strong out of that final corner. Look at him already closing in Matata. He's going to put overtake on, both of them running in the single digits. Road Flash has set a purple last sector now. We'll go around the outside. Can he get it held? Looks like he will not quite get to run, but Matata's got the track position, and he will be able to hold his car on the racing line and not let Road Flash go. So it's going to be a really interesting battle actually. These guys being strong in different areas of the track, as it looks like. I think it's Sesto. Just getting out of the way, going a lap down. I was just wondering, I think I saw a car inside Gold Gloves. But yeah, Gold Gloves has dropped almost 2 seconds now, so Gold Gloves having a bit of a shaky lap there actually. I wonder if that traffic kind of got in the way of him there. But yeah, looks like he's being gapped by these two. Matata pulling Road Flash away from his teammate. We'll have to see towards the end of the race what these guys do in terms of trying to back each other up and get a better result for Alfa Romeo. I'm not sure if they're really thinking about the constructors or if they're just sending it for the drivers. It's only round 3, so you'll be wanting as many individual points as possible, but yeah, we'll see what these guys do. Road Flash getting another good run. He's in overtake already, so he's really, really pushing. He wants to get the move done again. He probably knows he's quickly out of the penultimate corner, but I reckon he's just got to save off it. He's in 0 and he's not close enough to make a dive. So Rogue Flash, I think he's just going to have to play a bit of sensible for a couple laps. Save a little bit of energy and then send it. Because yeah, at the moment he's not close enough to make a move. You can see him really using that overtake. He's clicking it in the exit of the corners, just trying to get some drive, but he's got almost nothing to play with. Shooting Matata also kind of has nothing to play with. We've got yellows in sector 1, that looks like a Ferrari. It's Camos again doing more donuts, so he's probably clipped that inside curb again, and yeah, just adding to his woes, not having a great weekend at all. He's recently put some mediums on, so he should have plenty of pace. It's just a matter of getting it together. Candy Cane will also come in for soft, so a lot of these guys on the bottom points are going to take a chance. Candy Cane serves at 5 seconds, obviously for speeding in the pit lane before with that incident with Christoph Reck, I think it was. But he'll put fresh softs on and try and go for the fastest lap. Excuse me. Looks like the lapped car, not lapped car, the disconnected car with J will be there. Looks like someone's gone off in the middle sector. I think that's just Camos getting out of the way actually, so nothing to worry about there. Shooting Matata, Road Flash, round whatever we're up to. Gold Gloves has left the session out of P5, so lots of these guys struggle with connection. I think he's the third one to lag out, so that's not good in that battle for P4, P3, but what's the gap behind? It's 2.6 to BMAX, so Gold Gloves hopefully can get back in the session to hang on to that P5 because he deserves the top 5. After a good qualifying and a decent race so far, let's hope he can get back in. Rogue Flash not close enough to really threaten Shunma's harder, so in terms of battles, we've pretty much got nothing as V Camos will retire in the pit lane. Understandably enough, a couple laps down and probably frustrated with his performance. He'll be hoping to bounce back next week. I believe it's Spain next week, so hopefully he'll be getting on the time trial and getting some practice in, doing a few practice sessions. But yeah, that'll be all for V Camos. As Candy Cane's now left the session, so wow, we've got lots of guys lagging out. Gold Gloves is back, which is good. But yeah, not good to see these guys struggling with the connection. Yeah, not what we want to see. Anyway, hopefully Candy Cane can get back in. And same with Jay. Sesto is a lapped car, but he's got fresh softs on, so he's not in this battle ahead. Hopefully he doesn't really interfere with them. Because Ghost cars driving through each other can be quite distracting. Even though it doesn't physically affect your car. We've lost the gaps again, so I can't tell you what they are. So at Lunacy, where is he? Welcome to Joggles. Oh, so the Joggles is gone, so I wonder if Lucy's made a mistake there. Unless Joggles just put in some banger laps, because I cannot see Joggles ahead of him. There he is, so that gap looks to be about 1, 2, 3, about 4 seconds or so, 3.5 maybe. So Lucy's lost, I noticed a couple laps ago he was actually starting to close Joggles, but he's lost about a second. So maybe a little mistake there. But yeah, I think it's up to Joggles now, it's his race to lose. He's well in control again, just as last week. He's only 2 tenths down his best time, so still got really good pace. The gap's starting to come up now, so around about the 4 second mark between Joggles and Lunacy, Schuman's harder. A fair way back, Rogue Flash again on the attack, again with 0 energy. We'll try and send it around the outside. Can he get it stuck? The lapped car getting a bit in the way, hopefully he gets out of the way. Rogue Flash will have a look, but yeah, that's not an overtaking place. We'll jump on board again as he gets nice and close to the back of Shun Matata. I reckon what Sesto needs to do is, oh, he's going to try, no, don't unlap yourself, mate. That's very, very distracting. What I would suggest for Sesto is to back off, give himself a gap and go for the fastest lap. No, get out of the way, please. Actually, he doesn't have a position next to his name, so I wonder if he's lagged out. No, it looks like he's still driving that car. Sesto, you need to get out of the way, mate. You're not quick enough to be racing. Like if Sesto had like 2.5, 3 second quicker pace than these guys, then yeah, go for it. But the pace is almost identical, so he's just getting in the way. If I was Rogue Flash, I'd be sending that in. But yeah, Sesto, he needs to get out of the way. Anyway, enough of that. I think Joggles just set the quickest lap. Gap's up to 5.4 now, so wow. We've got Lunacy starting to struggle with the tyres, but Joggles is absolutely flooring it. Gap is still 7.6 behind Rogue Flash and Shumatata. Still close. Looks like Sesto's spun the rears up. So that's, yeah, as rude as it might sound, that's probably a good thing. He was starting to really disrupt that battle. Nothing against the man, but blue flags are blue flags. You have to respect them even if ghosting's on. So that's good for Rogue Flash to have him out of the way. Gap's 3/10, so getting really, really close. This is going to be the fight to the end, I think. 2/10 up in his best time, so Rogue Flash really starting to click with those tyres. Matata under pressure. Gold Gloves 7 seconds back now, losing a couple of seconds and lagging out, which is not great. BMAX managed to close to 3.5 as his lap teammate is now getting out, or not getting out of the way. Sesto will now get out of the way of both of them. Shalzy, just like BMAC, is not not like BMAC, just like Sesto is not getting out of the way of blue flags. So Shalzy, I don't think Shalzy's lagged out. I don't remember if he did. I feel like he's still racing that car. Looks like he's actually managed to gap him, so that's not so bad. As annoying as it is for BMAC, I wonder if BMAC, he does have DRS. So I think Shalzy's still in the session, but he's got good pace. So Shalzy will, hopefully start to stretch away and not affect BMAC as he tries to hunt down Gold Gloves. Rogue Flash, still in the back of the Shuna Matata, and once again, not close enough to really make a move. Looks like Sesto's gone round again, so trying to push a bit too hard maybe on those soft tyres. Not great to see. Rogue Flash does another personal best first sector, 2/10 up on his best time. So Rogue Flash really picking up the pace. These cars will be starting to get really light on fuel. Should be at pretty much optimal pace, minus the fresh tyres, the old tyres, sorry. We've got more yellows, looks like that's Sesto again, so really struggling there. Making lots of mistakes for the Williams driver. Hopefully he can finish the race, because it could be points if something drastic happens at the front. We'll jump on board with Rogue Flash again. We'll actually jump off board. We'll see if we can get close overtake on. Again, burning pretty much all of that energy that he doesn't have. So Rogue Flash looking, really impatient to push on. If he'd just saved a little bit of energy before, I think he'd have enough to make a move, but because he's been using it every single lap, he's not getting close enough. So I think Ashina Matata is doing the right thing in, kind of saving a little bit of energy. You can see he's saved about 30% as opposed to Rogue Flash's 10%. This is kind of the first time in this race I've seen, or this first time in this battle that I've seen Rogue Flash's ERS in double digits. So Rogue Flash, he's probably almost too late now to save it and go for another attack, so he kind of has to send it now, but a little bit of impatience may have actually cost him a real shot at Ashina Matata, who looks well set to hang on to P3 for now. Gap the front's now 8 seconds, so Lunacy looking like he's dropping off the pace. Joggle's absolutely not dropping off the pace, still pushing. Looks like Sesto, I think, has gone round again out of the pit lane. He's lost his entire front wing. I think he may have just pit, but I'm not sure. Candy Cane will make another pit stop. I think that's still a ghost car. Sesto will retire on track, so that's another no-no. Oh well. So that's a real shame for Sesto. Only 11 runners left. Candy Cane will put on fresh medium. Shalzy gets the 3-second penalty. So a few things happening in these latter stages of the race. We'll stay on board with Rogue Flash, who looks really, really close yet again. The same story as always, low ERS. Although actually he's saved a little bit, so maybe he has decided to save and go for a last lap push, which is probably the smart thing to do. If he wants to get P3. Ashina Matata's still got 30% ERS, so Ashina Matata's looking quite good still to hang on to it. Looks like Candy Cane's struggling to rejoin, which is a real shame. He'll still probably get a point because, I say he, if you're listening, Candy Cane, you'll still, I think, get a point for completing enough of the race, but we'll have to talk to the head blokes about that. But that's a real shame. Looks like, we might have to figure out a few compromises with the connection because a couple of guys have lagged out. Of course, remembering this is a global tier, so there will always be a couple of problems. Just with people from all around the world trying to, connect to the same lobby. But we'll see what we can do about that. That's frustrating if you can't rejoin, but there's not much I can really do about that right now. Hopefully if you also can hang on to that P10. Ashina Matata hanging on as well. The P3 still. So Rogue Flash, I think his last chance is gone. It's now on Ashina Matata to not make a mistake. But for the final few corners, we'll jump over with Joggles. We'll see him finish off his race nice and strong. Still pushing the pace. Looks like he's managed to just get incredible pace out of those hard tyres at the end of the stint where Lunacy has struggled a tiny bit. He's only 2/10 down his best time still, so Joggles just loving life at the front. He's absolutely killed this race. He got pipped on pole because he made a mistake in the third sector on his quali lap. Lunacy got that off him. And yeah, after kind of struggling a little bit behind initially, Lunacy, once he got clear, he absolutely bolted. And he's won this race on track by 8 seconds over Lunacy, who did have pole, but yeah, after kind of getting that 3 seconds back, really, yeah, started to drop quicker. He actually just set a personal best in that final lap, I think, so that's a good effort from Lunacy. Ashina Matata, Rogue Flash will come home P3 and 4, Gold Gloves who lagged out and then joined back in will come home P5, so that's a good result there. Well in that P3 fight, but just not quite having the pace in the hard tyres. BMAC will come across the line and he'll jump Gold Gloves actually for penalties, so that little lag out may have cost Gold Gloves P5, but that's part of the game. Ollies will come across the line in P7 for Haas, the sole representation for Haas for now. Hold Up Man Dan will come behind in P8, who also had a bit of a lag out issue. Put on some more softs and tried to gain some positions, but I think the gaps were a bit too much. No safety cars didn't help his efforts, and he'll be the last one across the line, and that will do us for Global Tier 2. So Driver of the Day, the game hasn't shown it yet. If anyone wants to vote for Driver of the Day, then let me know. Looks like the game's given it to Hold Up Man Dan. Nice little pose there. Gained a few positions, getting himself on the points, so that's a good drive there. But it will be Joggles who will take P1 and the top step of the podium. Gets the silverware for AlphaTauri if it will show us. There we go. Well done there, getting the crowd nice and hyped. Nice selfie, put that on Instagram, get 100,000 likes. Lunacy will take P2 and then Ashina Matata with great pace in those hards will take the podium. Io, Jack, the man, Alfredo. So yeah, if you want to, yeah, maybe we should get in touch and I'll organise that. But you have gotten that top 3 absolutely spot on. That's the first time I've had to give away Alfredo, so well done to you, fine sir. Absolutely spot on there. Ashina Matata did get a few positions lost off the start, but he's, yeah, gotten that back, so he'd absolutely deserve that top 3. So yeah, Hold Up Man Dan gaining the 2 positions, likewise with BMAC and Ashina Matata. So I think they were the biggest gainers for the race. So yeah, that'll be it. I'll just get the full, oh no, it's only 14 drivers, so Joggles will also take the extra point for the fastest lap with the 1:11.9. So not a perfect weekend for Joggles, but he's gotten the points that matter and he's put on the pace when it was important too, so well done there. Looks like, yeah, he's brought home the most points for the constructors as well. Alfa Romeo probably being the second quickest team, 15 and 8, so 23 points. So Alfa Romeo also pulling in some really good constructors points. But yeah, that will do us for Global Tier 2. Not the most thrilling race in terms of action up and down the field, but that fight for P3 really kept us interested because it was so close for pretty much the entire race. But yeah, these guys having their ups and downs around this new track, but they have completed the race. Those who finished will be quite satisfied. So well done to you guys. You are, okay, awesome. We can get in touch and arrange that photo, mate. So good stuff to you. But yeah, I think we'll round this one up. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for your support for the drivers as well. I've enjoyed watching this race. These guys put on a decent race. And yeah, I reckon they will do the same next week. In terms of streams and comms, I'm not sure who'll be doing it. It might be me again, it might be someone else. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that will do us for tonight. This has been Race Spec Global Tier 2 around Zandvoort. We are at, I think it's Spain next week, so make sure you tune into that same time, same place. I am Bodhod, and thank you so much for tuning in. There's a couple more races on at 8:30 for Race Spec, so make sure you tune into those as well if you would like to see some of your favourite drivers hit the track around what is quite an enjoyable track to hit. So thank you very much, and I will see you later.